They once worked together a long time ago. They're not friends now. They don't like each other. And yeah, 50 has taken every shot, especially when Diddy has been
with the series, with the film.
I mean, I think the intention is to give a more full-bodied experience to what happened, from the people that agreed to sit down and to participate. And I feel like the film asks a lot of questions, maybe more questions are asked than answers given.
Those quiet afternoons when the biggest drama in your life is deciding whether to rewatch The Wire or scroll through old memes? Cancel those plans, because 50 Cent just casually lit the fuse on what might become the most explosive scandal hip-hop has ever seen. And no, this isn't another diss track or petty Instagram feud. This time, it's personal. Rewrite the history books personal. Turns out that documentary everyone thought was only about Diddy's legal troubles? Yeah, that was just the warm-up. The real show is coming, and it has Jay-Z's name written all over it. Not as a bystander. Not as a friend. But as a co-star in a story so wild, so carefully buried, that even the most hardened industry insiders are sweating. You think you've seen drama? The game is about to change, and the first move was made while we were all distracted. Buckle up.
People know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well, I just want to make really hit television. I like the idea of it being exciting, and I picked this project and started working on it about 5 months before I found Alex. And I know that she has the artistic integrity that it would take to make it.
The timing couldn't be more explosive. Just months after Diddy's conviction on solicitation-related charges, a case that saw federal agents raid his Los Angeles and Miami estates, uncovering everything from hidden cameras to questionable substances. 50 Cent is now turning the spotlight toward Jay-Z, suggesting their bond was built on a foundation of deception. The allegations imply that their high-profile romances, hypermasculine personas, and even their public feuds were all part of an elaborate cover. And if even a fraction of these claims is true, the fallout won't just be personal, it'll be financial, legal, and cultural. We're talking about two men who shaped an entire generation of music, fashion, and Black entrepreneurship. If their partnership was a performance, the real question isn't just about their private lives. It's about how many people knew, how many looked the other way, and what else might still be hidden inside those raided properties.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make a...
This isn't just idle gossip. The documentary's existence has been teased by 50 Cent himself, who has spent years dropping breadcrumbs, from mocking Diddy's legal troubles to openly questioning Jay-Z's silence during the raids. Remember that deepfake video he posted last December, splicing Jay-Z's face onto Lionel Richie's Hello, with the caption, "This the message Jay-Z sent me when he realized he's not in the Diddy doc." At the time, it seemed like just another jab in their decades-long rivalry. But now, with a second installment reportedly in production, the joke isn't funny anymore. Because this new project isn't just targeting Diddy's past, it's pulling Jay-Z into the same storm. And the legal stakes couldn't be higher. We already know Diddy's team is threatening lawsuits over the documentary, calling it a shameful hit piece built on stolen footage. Imagine the firepower they'll unleash if Jay-Z's name becomes tied to the same allegations. And let's not forget the timing. This past October, a Jane Doe lawsuit accused both men of assaulting her at a house party in 2000, when she was just 13.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
The case was amended in December to name Jay-Z directly, a move his team immediately labeled as blackmail. His denial was swift and public. What the attorney calculated, his team said, was that the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would pressure me into settling. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. But settlements aren't the only risk here. If 50 Cent's documentary digs into their early years, it revisits a volatile period when both men were facing separate legal battles, Diddy's nightclub shooting in 1999 and Jay-Z's stabbing case that same year. Back then, they were young, untouchable, and surrounded by a culture that protected its kings at all costs. Now, those protections are crumbling. Federal investigators have already seized footage from Diddy's homes. And if similar evidence exists tying Jay-Z to those same circles, the implications go far beyond scandal. Old cases could be reopened, new ones triggered, and a reckoning forced, not just for the men at the center, but for everyone who enabled them.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
What makes this even more volatile is the money. Jay-Z isn't just a rapper. He's a billionaire with stakes in the NFL, the NBA, and a beverage empire built on his image as a self-made titan. Diddy, even from prison, still controls a media empire and a network of allies who've stayed loyal through multiple lawsuits. But loyalty has limits. We've seen it before, when the first domino falls, the rest follow fast. And 50 Cent isn't just throwing accusations. He's positioning himself as the man with the receipts. Remember his Instagram post about paying top dollar for tapes from Diddy's infamous freak-off parties? That wasn't just talk. Sources close to the production claim he's been collecting statements from former associates, security footage, and even financial records that could link both men to the same dark activities. If those tapes exist, and given the hidden cameras allegedly found in Diddy's homes, it's a real possibility they wouldn't just be damaging. They'd be nuclear. And then comes the biggest question of all, who else gets caught in the crossfire?
If that's part of the indictment, that's almost like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
The lawsuits and raids didn't happen in a vacuum. We're talking about a network that allegedly included athletes, politicians, and A-list celebrities, people who attended those parties, signed those NDAs, and now have every reason to panic. When federal agents raided Diddy's Los Angeles mansion in March 2024, they didn't just find substances and weapons. They found videos, unspecified footage that has never been made public. And if Jay-Z was part of that world, even peripherally, the ripple effect could be unprecedented. Imagine the calls being made right now. The lawyers being retained. The old alliances being tested. Because this isn't just about two men. It's about an entire system that operated for decades under one unspoken rule: what happens in the inner circle stays in the inner circle. But 50 Cent isn't playing by those rules. And neither, it seems, are the feds. What's both fascinating and terrifying is how everything connects. Take the 2024 amended lawsuit, where a Jane Doe described being assaulted by both men at a party while a third, unnamed woman watched. That's not just an allegation, it's a blueprint. It suggests coordination, shared behavior, a pattern that goes beyond isolated acts. And if the documentary ties that to the freak-off parties described in Rodney Lil Rod Jones' lawsuit, where guests were allegedly recorded without consent, substances flowed freely, and power dynamics were weaponized, then we're no longer talking about individual misconduct. We're talking about a machine. One that Diddy and Jay-Z may have built together and spent years protecting. The fact that Jay-Z's team has stayed silent on the documentary rumors speaks volumes. Because in a crisis like this, silence isn't neutrality. It's strategy. And right now, the only strategy that makes sense is damage control. But damage control only works if you can contain the story.
As I said, never before seen footage. the days leading up to his arrest. Can you just talk a little bit about, was there anything that surprised you from that footage?
The footage, well, I mean, I think it's rare to find someone who's being, talked about all over the country. All eyes were on him, so to speak. And it was really interesting to see his last days of freedom.
How do you know I'm not a gangster, or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
And 50 Cent isn't just telling a story, he's weaponizing it. The first documentary already used footage Diddy's team called stolen, including scenes of him ranting in a hotel room just before his arrest. If the sequel includes similar material involving Jay-Z, the legal battles will be brutal. But the real war isn't happening in court. It's happening in the court of public opinion. Because for all their power, neither man can control the narrative once it's out. And 50 Cent knows it. He's not just exposing secrets, he's forcing a conversation the industry has avoided for decades, about complicity, about the cost of silence, about what happens when the kings of hip-hop aren't just flawed heroes, but alleged architects of something far darker. And the timing matters. Diddy is currently serving his sentence at Fort Dix, with a release date reportedly moved up to May 2028, earlier than expected, with no clear explanation. Jay-Z, meanwhile, has kept his distance, avoiding public commentary on his longtime friend's legal troubles. But the documentary changes everything. Because if even part of these claims is substantiated, the question won't just be about the past. It'll be about the present, the businesses they've built, the people they employ, and the institutions that have profited from their images. We're talking about Roc Nation. About Bad Boy Records. About the brands and endorsements that rely on their reputations. And in an industry where perception is currency, once that currency collapses, no amount of legal threats can stop the fallout.
I was with the girl, and he was asking about her, and then he was asking me stuff like, would you be interested in somebody watching? He was just asking some really, really bugged out questions. And I still have those emails. I still have all that, So, that's one of the things that I was going to include in the book. I'm just trying to figure out.
There's one more layer to this that's impossible to ignore, the women. Not just the accusers, but the women who stood beside these men, built alongside them, and navigated the same circles of power. Beyoncé's name has already been pulled into speculation, not because she's accused of wrongdoing, but because of her long history with both men. She and Jay-Z began dating around 2000, the same year a Jane Doe claims she was assaulted. The same era when Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, says she was coerced into performances with male companions while he watched. These overlaps aren't coincidental. They form a pattern. And if the documentary connects those dots, the fallout won't be limited to the men at the center. It will extend to the women who built their own empires alongside them, women who had to survive within the same power structures, the same unspoken rules. The question isn't just what Jay-Z and Diddy did. It's what everyone around them knew, or chose not to see. As of now, neither Jay-Z's team nor Netflix has commented on the documentary's existence. But that silence is deafening. Because this isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a potential unraveling of one of the most powerful friendships in music history, a bond that survived legal battles, industry shifts, and personal controversies. If 50 Cent's claims hold weight, this isn't just a tell-all. It's a detonation. And the blast radius? That's what we're all about to discover. Because once this documentary drops, there's no going back. Not for Diddy. Not for Jay-Z. Not for the people who orbited their world. And not for an industry that spent decades looking the other way. The reckoning isn't coming. It's already here.
Empire. You know what I'm saying? You're involved with corporate America, but your involvement is different. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid every 2 weeks. No, I do. You know what I'm saying? Before we do anything, man, congratulations on the residency.
Yeah, man.
Hey, bro, that residency says 50 Cent presents. Yeah.
And let's talk about the machinery that made this silence possible, because it didn't happen by accident. It was engineered. The blueprints are right there in the legal filings, the sudden disappearances of lawsuits, and the way money has a habit of making problems vanish. Take Cassie Ventura's case. A bombshell accusation of abuse. A settlement reached in less than 24 hours. And a confidentiality agreement so airtight that even court documents were sealed. That isn't justice. That's a transaction. It's the same playbook we've seen again and again. When a Jane Doe lawsuit named Jay-Z last December, his team didn't just deny the claims, they called it blackmail. A word that carries its own implications. Because in this world, accusations aren't just fought in court. They're buried under money, threats, and the weight of careers too big to fail. And then there are the NDAs. Rodney Lil Rod Jones' lawsuit didn't just allege disturbing behavior at Diddy's parties, it claimed guests, including high-profile names, were forced to sign ironclad agreements before entering. That's not about privacy. That's about control. When celebrities, athletes, and even political figures walk through your doors, silence isn't optional, it's mandatory. If Jay-Z was part of that world, even peripherally, those same agreements could still exist, waiting to surface. We already know Diddy's team has accused 50 Cent of using stolen footage in the reckoning. But what if the real treasure trove isn't hidden cameras in mansions, but signed documents locked away in a safe? Documents listing names no one ever expected to see. Because here's the thing about NDAs, they work until they don't. And with federal investigators now combing through every corner of Diddy's empire, those pieces of paper may be the most dangerous evidence of all. Then there's the money.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
His conviction on solicitation-related charges was just the beginning. The civil lawsuits keep coming, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has now opened a new probe into misconduct and battery allegations. Diddy's legal team is fighting every case, dismissing them as shameless publicity stunts. But the math isn't on his side. Diddy's legal strategy has always been aggression. He sues. He countersues. He leans on his reputation as a fighter. But what happens when the fighter is behind bars? When the footage is already out there? When witnesses are starting to talk? Yes, his appeal is moving forward. But even if he wins, the damage is already done. Because the real story isn't just about guilt or innocence. It's about who else might be dragged into the light as his world continues to unravel. And if Jay-Z's name appears in those files, in those videos, or buried inside old NDAs, then Diddy's legal nightmare becomes Jay-Z's problem too. But here's the twist no one is talking about, the third player. The person who's been silent this entire time. The one who holds the keys to the kingdom. Because in every scandal this big, there's always someone who knows far more than they're saying. Maybe it's a former lawyer who drafted those agreements. Maybe it's a road manager who saw too much and got paid to forget. Or maybe, just maybe, it's someone still inside the inner circle, someone with everything to lose. Think about it. Diddy has been recording himself for decades. And according to the documentary's director, Jay-Z's team has remained silent, but silence doesn't mean inaction. It means preparation. History tells us the biggest revelations don't always come from the loudest voices. They come from the ones you least expect, a business partner lying low, a former ally watching from the shadows, or even a global pop queen whose absence from the conversation has been impossible to ignore. The documentary may be 50 Cent's project. But the real bombshell could come from someone who's been waiting for the right moment to speak.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he has to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He's about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come.
And let's not forget the timing. Diddy's prison release date has reportedly been moved up to May 2028, earlier than expected. Coincidence? Maybe. But in a story this layered, coincidences rarely exist. His legal team is fighting tooth and nail, publicly calling the Netflix documentary a hit piece. But behind the scenes, they're also negotiating quietly. Because the goal isn't just to win, it's to contain. To make sure that when Diddy eventually walks free, the narrative is already under control. But here's the problem. Narratives have a way of slipping through fingers, especially when the people pulling the strings start turning on each other. If Jay-Z's team decides that distance is the safest strategy, if they start throwing Diddy under the bus to protect their own brand, then a decades-long alliance could shatter overnight. Because in the end, loyalty is just another currency. And when the stakes are this high, everyone has a price. This documentary isn't just a tell-all. It's a litmus test for the industry, for the fans, and for everyone who built careers in these men's orbit. Because if even half of these claims are true, then the story isn't just about Diddy and Jay-Z. It's about every artist who looked the other way. Every executive who signed off on a settlement. Every fan who chose the myth over the man. The reckoning isn't just coming for them. It's coming for all of us who allowed it to happen. And the most unsettling part? We still don't know the half of it. So here's the question no one is answering yet. If 50 Cent really has the tapes, the documents, the names, and if this documentary is the match, then who's holding the gasoline? Because the fire has already started. And when the flames rise high enough, the truth doesn't just come out, it burns everything in its path. Stay tuned. Stay sharp. And ask yourself, how many more secrets are still hiding in plain sight? Until next time, keep your eyes open. The next chapter is coming. And trust us, you won't want to miss it.